Adam Soos here for Rebel News. A question for Senator Manchin. In your opinion, what is driving the resistance within the Democratic Party and the Biden administration against importing ethical, readily available, and more environmentally responsible Canadian oil to supply growing demands? And why is the United States increasing oil imports from undemocratic serial human rights violators like Venezuela and Iran instead?
I asked the same question.
Adam Soos here for Rebel News. West Virginia Senior Senator Joe Manchin is set to make a visit here to Alberta and in fact has been traveling with Jason Kenney, visiting the oil sands and talking about energy solutions. Many are hoping this visit may serve as an inroad for more Canadian energy exports into the United States. And there are hopes for renewed conversations on the Keystone XL pipeline, which was nixed by President Biden just prior to its completion. While Senator Manchin is a Democrat, he does have a history of bipartisanship on issues like abortion, gun control, immigration, and most topically, energy policy. He's even publicly called for Biden to restore the Keystone XL pipeline. Those calls and the need for ethical Canadian oil have only been amplified since the onset of the Russian invasion of the Ukraine, with the U.S. facing a significant oil deficit since banning the import of Russian energy assets. We are here on location at the McDougall Centre in Calgary, where Senator Joe Manchin and Premier Jason Kenney are set to have immediate availability and answer questions about the Senator's visit to Alberta.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am thrilled to be here at McDougall Centre to welcome Senator Joe Manchin to Alberta. Joe accepted our invitation to come up here and see firsthand the single largest source of energy imports to the United States, and to deepen the relationship between Canada and the United States, especially Alberta, as the largest foreign supplier of energy to the United States. Of course, Senator Manchin is the chairman of the United States Senate Energy Committee and is the key swing vote in the U.S. Senate, so carries a lot of sway.
And there shouldn't be a thing that we should be counting on or buying or supporting from Russia that gives them the resources to use in this genocide that they're committing in Ukraine. But with that, we have to be stronger. We have to be committed and resilient enough to be able to say we are going to produce the energy that the world needs. We're going to basically extract and process the minerals, the critical minerals, that helps us with a cleaner environment, transitioning into a new world, if you will.
Adam Soos here for Rebel News. A question for Senator Manchin. In your opinion, what is driving the resistance within the Democratic Party and the Biden administration against importing ethical, readily available, and more environmentally responsible Canadian oil to supply growing demands? And why is the United States increasing oil imports from undemocratic serial human rights violators like Venezuela and Iran instead?
I asked the same question. I think it's a lack of knowledge, lack of understanding. You know, how many people have come up, how many senators have been up, how many people from the administration have been to Canada to understand how valuable Canada is to the United States of America and vice versa. We're all one. It's North America. And North America could be the energy leaders of the world. It really could be, of the cleanest energy production in the world. I'm doing everything I can. I intend to have Premier and a delegation come down to the United States, to the Capitol, in my committee, and basically testify on what you do, how you do it, and how well you do it, and how much we need each other and how we depend on each other. Not only the oil now, when you start thinking about all of the critical minerals, just take uranium, you know, and I said this, my history tells me that the Manhattan Project that we used to end the World War II and save the world from fascism and totalitarian type of regimes, that came from right here. It came from you all. In Saskatchewan, I think, in this part of the world, you had the richest uranium that we used. And so we've been connected that longer than people know. They just don't realize. So maybe my administration doesn't realize how well you do what you do.
Joe Manchin and Premier Jason Kenney were certainly saying all of the right things. It just makes sense for the United States, our long-term ally, to use our ethical and readily available oil. It remains to be seen if Joe Manchin's critical swing vote will be enough or provide enough pressure for Joe Biden to change his mind on some of this critical infrastructure like Keystone XL and other pipelines to the United States. But for the short term, there is at least some hope that there are some politicians, even Democrats in the United States, working for Alberta oil. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Soos. Since the onset of the Russian invasion of the Ukraine and the resulting banning of imports on energy from Russia, the United States has faced a deficit of 700,000 barrels of oil a day. That is a deficit which could easily be met by the 830,000 barrels that could be pumped by Keystone XL. If you think that Keystone XL is the solution to the American energy crisis, go to buildkeystoneXL.com.